Lewis Reed gets the ball rolling. Mansfield Town in this first half kicking towards what is today an empty Kop, but still a sizable crowd here in the Steel City. This stage last season, Sheffield United, albeit a much changed and inexperienced side, were dumped out by Cardiff City. And Chris Wilder does not want this to go the same way. He wants a good run this season, he says. Here is Ben Mee with that strapping around his left hand. Needed surgery on that hand, and today back in action for the first time since the end of November. As Deji Oshilaja puts the ball out of play for Mansfield. Player with links to the other side of the Steel City. Did have a loan spell with Sheffield Wednesday earlier in his career. Here is Samare. Now the debutant, Kiana Hoover. 8 appearances for Wolves in the Premier League this season. There's Chong, Samare, and now Arblaster. Great to see him back after his long spell out with an ACL injury. And Mee gets away from Moriah-Welsh, and Mansfield slowly retreating. Hamer. Akins there to shut that cross down. Lucas Akins, who got his first goal for Mansfield in just short of a year in that win over Bradford last time out. As Burrows sends in the cross here, it's taken by Roberts, who has simply been outstanding for Mansfield this season. The Stags goalkeeper, he's rescued them so many times. But you may remember the part that he played in last season's FA Cup 5th round tie between Millwall and Crystal Palace. That horrible challenge with Jean-Philippe Mateta that left him out for a while, and Roberts was handed a 6-game ban as a result. Hamer, Chong, Campbell, Hamer, wouldn't dip in time, but we've seen him score from there. We've seen it several times, but not this time, crucially. One touch to get it out of his feet. Cleared the bar with it. Roberts to drive it downfield. Oates the target, just a shade too high for him, and an early touch here for Adam Davis, who is having to play second fiddle to Michael Cooper, Sheffield United's first choice keeper, and has been struggling of late with a shoulder issue, so this game an opportunity for Davis to get a go with the gloves. Blaster. Gabriel Samare. Chong. Evans getting a toe on that, but as many expected, Sheffield United making most of the early running, and that's a fabulous ball into Hamer, nodded down wonderfully to Campbell, and now Danny Ings comes back to Hamer. Mansfield really struggling here, and they've managed to scramble it away, and it's been met with a huge roar from behind that goal where the Mansfield fans are. Fraser Blake-Tracy eventually hoisting the ball clear. But Mansfield in an almighty panic. All started with that ball over the top from Samare, cushioned header from Hamer in towards Campbell, who couldn't quite get there. And Sweeney with a fabulous block to shut down the shot from Danny Ings to start with. And Blake-Tracy at the end of it all, sweeping the ball into touch. Arblaster. Burrows cutting it back, but Moriah-Welsh is there. Oates, Mee quickly at his back. Well, they have been scoring a lot of goals recently since Chris Wilder returned. 19 in all in the last 8 games in the Championship, more than any other side. Roberts high out to Blake Tracy, who's played in all manner of positions this season due to the crippling injury crisis that Mansfield have faced. He was playing as a left-sided centre-back at one stage. I seem to recall he's played in midfield as well, Blake Tracy, this season. But at long last, the injury problems are beginning to ease for Mansfield, but there's still 7 or 8 out. So the arrival of the new additions this week were most welcome. Chris Wilder still looking to do some business in this January transfer window as well, but admits he's got to move quite a few out before he can start bringing players in. Rhys Oates on the Mansfield search. He's got McDonald up in support if he wants to use him, but Oates going alone here, and then had the door closed by Arblaster. Mansfield, it must be noted, have progressed from 2 of their 3 FA Cup ties against Sheffield United in the 1950-51 season and in the 68-69 campaign. Moriah-Welsh up against Burrows. McDonald, who has been superb for Mansfield this season, but he's given that ball away. Samare really has come into his own in recent times. Jabril Samare, he was a peripheral figure when Chris Wilder first returned. Campbell to Arblaster. The Blades have a man down. It's Hamer. Of that challenge from McDonald, who loves a tackle. Didn't get the ball, but he certainly got the man. Chris Wilder now in his 3rd stint with his Boyhood Blades. He did lead Middlesbrough to the FA Cup quarter-finals 4 years ago. A run that started with victory at Nigel Clough's Mansfield, no less. Also overcame Manchester United on penalties at Old Trafford, then beat Tottenham before losing to Chelsea. Samare. Burrows with some greenery in front of him. Ings. And that one cannons off Reed and safely through to Liam Roberts. I think it's widely acknowledged that Roberts is probably too good for League One, but Mansfield absolutely delighted to have him. Really good piece of business that from Nigel Clough. Hamer. It was a vital interception from Cargill, and that's a good ball from him to Moriah-Welsh. Evans making a move upfield. Here he is. First touch was a shade heavy. Reed into Oates. Mansfield fans roaring away at the other end of the ground. Good hit. Really good try, and Davis must have got something on that. A corner given. And that is why we singled him out before kick-off. It is actually a really good save from Adam Davis. A warning for the Blades. That was dipping viciously. Mansfield have a lot of height inside that penalty area. Two men on the edge of the box, McDonnell and Reid. Moriah-Welsh to deliver the corner. Out it comes to McDonnell, who wasn't closed down. He stepped round Chong, and he screwed his effort wide. Ran kindly for him. Just a step to the left, and then got his angles all wrong. Recently back from an ankle injury. Jamie McDonnell. Nigel Clough describing him as a throwback in terms of how he plays the game. Reid and Moriah-Welsh combining. Good play this from Mansfield. Just a slightly undercooked pass from Oates allows Sheffield United to get back on the ball. Mansfield hoping this second half of the campaign doesn't go as it did last season, and they were beaten by Wigan at this very stage in the FA Cup, and it was where their season really fell apart, and they ended up managing to survive. Though it's Oates, he's done brilliantly, and again he's tested Davis. Terrific stuff from Mansfield, and more importantly from Rhys. Oates slipped on by Evans. Oates with two defenders to contend with, got his shot away, and Adam Davis up to the challenge. Well, straight onto the head of Hamer. Here's Lewis Reid. Oh, stunner! What a hit from Lewis Reid. Back at the club where his career began. And 5,000 who came to dream of Bramall Lane now daring to believe. What a gorgeous goal that is from Lewis Reid. Hamer's header out, and it curled away from the despairing dive of Adam Davis. The Stags have struck in the Steel City. Sheffield United 0, Mansfield Town 1. What a goal. And it's been a really good spell for Mansfield, and off now goes Will Evans. The Stags hungry for more. Oh. Well, those in yellow from just down the road from here really enjoying themselves. And listen to the noise from that away end. 4 attempts. 3 on target for the Stags, none yet on target for the host Sheffield United. And the Blades with an early shock to the system here. I suppose in some respects it was written in the stars for Lewis Reid. Back at his former club, where he made his professional debut as a 16-year-old under Nigel Clough, scoring the goal. Hoover looking to deliver. Cargill sees it away, picked up by Arblaster. Now Jibril Samare feeding Ben Mee. Samare. There's Chong. Diana Hoover, player that Chris Wilder's been chasing for the last couple of years. The Dutchman making his debut at right back today. Harrison Burrows. Samare into Arblaster. McDonald quickly on the scene. Evans gathered wonderfully by Oates. Evans again, just failing to get the ball under control. But they are a threat, aren't they, on the turnover, Mansfield? Hamer, Ings. And although Chris Wilder has made 10 changes today, it's still an extremely strong starting Sheffield United 11. Deanna Hoover showed too much of that to Lewis Reed. Hamer surrounded by yellow shirts, and they've come out with it, Mansfield. Moriah-Welsh. Akins has to track back slightly. It's under hit, pounced on by Burrows. Here come the blades again. Hamer. Rhys Campbell. Burrows screwing it in there. And it's diverted behind by Sweeney, the captain. Really good cup tie. Good tempo to it. Both sides giving this a real go. And we've got a crackling soundtrack to match as well. Really, really good atmosphere. Well, McGuinness and me will be two obvious targets that Hamer will be looking for here on this Sheffield United corner. In it goes, and it's just put wide. I'm not sure who got the final touch, maybe Danny Ings, but that was dangerous. Yeah, it was Danny Ings. It was Samare with the first attempt, and Ings tried to finish the job, but put it wide of the mark. From a Burnley, Liverpool, Southampton and West Ham player, Danny Ings joined on a one-year deal last summer after leaving the Hammers. 3 England caps as well. Akins. Moriah-Welsh. By Hamer, brought down by Cargill. Ryan Sweeney now in his second spell with Mansfield, rejoined this season after spells at Dundee and Burton Albion. Speaking of which, there's a former Burton Albion player, Lucas Akins. Thundered downfield by Roberts, and that will carry all the way through to Adam Davis. Well, the last time Mansfield beat a side from the second tier was in the 1969-70 season against Blackpool. And here they have the lead in the Steel City against Sheffield United of the Championship. McGuinness, Arblaster, Samare, who's currently on loan from Braga, Senegal under-23 international in the Blades midfield. McGuinness trotting forward with it, the former Luton man. Burrows. It seems Sheffield United just trying to take the sting out of the game at the moment, enjoying a spell of possession. Hamer opens up for Hamer! Oh! Another belter at Bramall Lane. This time it's gone in the back of Mansfield's net. Another special from Gustavo Hamer. It has become his trademark. Liam Roberts absolutely no chance with that one. This has been a fabulous cup tie. Two glorious strikes within it. One from Mansfield's Lewis Reed, and now one from Sheffield United's Gustavo Hamer. And the Championship side are level. Blades 1, Stags 1. It has been a rip-roaring opening 20 minutes, and Mansfield come forward again here. It's Blake Tracy, and it's gone for the corner. Kiana Hoover had to get back quickly and did. Sweeney, one of several in the picture for this corner kick that Moriah-Welsh will deliver now. And again, he doesn't beat the first man. That's really disappointing. McDonnell. Put away by Samare. Oshalaja's header. Campbell. Kiana Hoover. Foul by Evans. He links up so well, doesn't he, Will Evans, with Rhys Oates. Covers a lot of ground very quickly, and they so often are on the same wavelength, those two. You can see that this is a team brimming with confidence. Winning run that started for them over Christmas, a comeback win at Barnsley. Wasn't a good challenge, was it, from Will Evans? But they left Oakwell with maximum points. They were absolutely pummeled by Bolton, but somehow managed to win it by a goal to nil. And then they were simply excellent against Bradford in their last game. And as a consequence, they've soared out of the bottom four up to 11th in League One, which is such a crazy division. Hamer. Kiana Hoover. This is Tahith Chong, who's had his injury issues this season. Arblaster. Really smashed in there by Hoover. Looking to switch the play, and that carries out of play. Well, I don't think he necessarily gets the credit he deserves for his time here with Sheffield United. They were second from bottom in League One at the time. He managed to take them to the playoff semi-finals. Took them to 2 cup semi-finals as well, Nigel Clough. And in an interview this week, he said the question that he was constantly asked by the Blades hierarchy when he first walked through the door, can you please help us stay out of League Two? Well, he managed to do that and more. And of course, Clough is a name synonymous with this competition, as Ings feeds it through towards Chong. Might open up for Chong here. Mansfield get the bodies back. Samaro, Arblaster. Intercepted by Akins. Burrows is there to recover it. Palmer, nicely done. Arblaster couldn't take it with him. At that FA Cup semi-final, incidentally, that I was referring to a moment ago. Nigel Clough leading the Blades there. They took on Hull City. It was a terrific game of football. Lost 5-3 in the end, but the Blades players got a standing ovation for their performance in that match. Hamer fizzing that one at Chong. Burrows. Oh, that drop. Kiana Hoover coming onto it. That looked a robust challenge as well. And the referee's whistle has indeed gone. Fraser, Blake Tracy on the receiving end of that one. Kiana Hoover straight through the back of Blake Tracy. It mustn't be forgotten either that he played in the 1991 FA Cup final, Nigel Clough, with Nottingham Forest, who were managed at the time by his late father Brian, beaten by Spurs. A game remembered for that injury to Paul Gascoigne. There is Kiana Hoover. First time the game has hit its first lull. It has been high-octane stuff, a really pulsating affair this. Blaster. This big pitch really suits Mansfield as well in the way that they like to play. Players who can stretch the pitch, they've got a few of those in their ranks. Burrows linking up with Hamer, and Burrows gets away from McDonnell momentarily. A few half-hearted appeals for something there, absolutely nothing doing, but there is that time Ben Mee with a foul on Rhys Oates. Sheffield United were handed a major boost ahead of kick-off with the news that Patrick Bamford has just agreed to a new contract. An 18-month deal is signed now, having initially joined on a short-term one which was due to run out after today's tie, so he's now a Sheffield United player until the end of next season. Burrows looking for the run of Campbell in behind. He's got goal side of Usher larger for now. Sweeney in just the right place to stop the cross. Blaster. You can see what the intention was. Oates. It's a cheap giveaway. Hoover. He made a bit of history at Liverpool when he turned out for them in this very competition, becoming their youngest players to feature in the FA Cup. McGuinness. Controlled spell of possession from the Blades. Now Samare makes a dart for the box, has a crack towards goal. Samare driving forward, and such a larger, I think, with the final touch on that. Akins was also in close proximity. Flat ball in from Hamer, attacked by Mee, cleared by Akins. Campbell showing interest in this. missed completely by both Cargill and McGuinness. And here is Fraser Blake-Tracy. These two last faced each other in this competition back in 1988 at the first round stage, drew 1-1 at Field Mill. Kevin Kent gave Mansfield the lead. Brian Deane equalised to force a replay. Sheffield United won the replay here by 2-1. And Moriah-Welsh fouled there, so Mansfield handed a free kick. Nice words pre-kick-off from Chris Wilder towards Nigel Clough. So when he started out as a manager at Halifax, Nigel Clough was a fellow boss that he could pick the phone up and get advice from. Enormous respect between the two. Patrick Bamford has just gone out to warm up. It's the applause. Samare. It's definitely settled down after a frantic start to the game. Hamer. With the angle ball in the direction of Keanu Hoover, who's got there. Blake-Tracy looks to get Mansfield heading up the field, but he didn't get very far. Samare double-cooked it, but Hamer applauds the idea. He was the one that Samare was looking for. He's looked decent in the last few games. Perhaps sense that he might be falling out of the first team picture completely, but he's really stepped his game up. Gabriel Samare, and there is Patrick Bamford. He's made an excellent start to life in Sheffield United colours. It was met with some scepticism, that particular signing, when he was picked up on a free. Certainly done the business so far. Here's Oates, who has been doing the business for Mansfield. Hamer thumps it away. Oates is a constant pest. Mansfield calling for a free kick that is not forthcoming. Evans it was who was dumped on the turf. Well, in truth, Samare was right over the top of him. I'm not sure whether Evans makes a back for him, but either way, Gavin Ward not inclined to blow up for a foul, but Evans feeling the after effects. Samare. Blaster wins the scrap with Reed. Keanu Hoover now. Campbell. Watched closely by Bailey Cargill. Samare. Three in red and white in the middle. Danny Ings is one of them. I'm hoping to reach this. It's in the hands of Liam Roberts. He's having a bit of a wrestle there with Rhys Oates. Mansfield coming here unbeaten in their last 4 away games in all competitions. A run that started with their second round success on penalties at Accrington in the last round. As Burrows delivers here, and Sweeney on the stretch puts it behind. Corner is short, Hamer to Burrows. Hamer again. Usually there is someone at that far post, but on this occasion there wasn't, much to Mansfield's relief. He said before the game that the attitude and desire from his players had to be absolutely spot on, or they would suffer an upset. Well, in terms of attitude and desire, nothing wrong on that front as far as Mansfield are concerned. They've given a really good account of themselves here. Look at the amount of passes. It's not always about what you do with the ball at your feet. It's about getting the ball into the right areas, and Mansfield have done so on numerous occasions. Me goes long for Danny Ings. There is an offside flag. Top of Blake Tracy from the boot of Liam Roberts. And apart from that wonder strike from Gustavo Hamer, Mansfield have protected their goal really well in this first half. Yes, Sheffield United have had more of the ball, that's to be expected. But they've not really caused them too much by way of problems as yet. They might now, though. Burrows really drills it in. Chong! That's unlucky. Chong trying to use the pace of that cross to guide it in beyond Roberts. And he's not far off. Took it on the volley first time. Just whistled past the post. Yet to open his account in Sheffield United colours. Player who will be at this year's World Cup with Curaçao, and they've got a light introduction as they open their campaign against Germany. Foul there on our blaster by McDonnell. Remember, I did say right at the very start he loves a tackle. Chong. Me. Hamer. Blades just biding their time, waiting for the right moment. Our blaster. Keanu Hoover. Samare picking up the bits there. And Evans will see that safely behind for a goal kick. Mansfield reaching the third round for the 5th time in the last 6 seasons now. Sheffield United have progressed from 19 of their last 20 FA Cup ties against sides from a lower division. The last time they failed to do so was in a 1-0 loss at this stage to non-league Barnet back in 2019, and Chris Wilder was in charge for that one. And at the time he had bigger fish to fry, as it were, as the Blades were looking to climb the football pyramid at the time. And what an ascent it was. They ended up in the Premier League, had a 9th place finish. Astonishing, really. Well defended by Keanu Hoover. Oates was threatening to burst away down the left. They needed competition in that right-back slot as well. Femi Sariki's been playing a lot of football. He was their only recognised right-back prior to the arrival of Keanu Hoover. But Tracy rising and winning it. There's me. Oates protecting it from Keanu Hoover. Never ever gives anything up. And he's done really well again, Rhys Oates. Chong slides in, takes him down. It will be a free kick, and then there will be a card for Tahith Chong. We'll see what action Gavin Ward takes. He lunges in for the ball. He doesn't get the ball. And it would appear that he has escaped a card. Gavin Ward electing not to take his name down on this occasion. But this is in a position of promise for Mansfield. Nathan Moriah-Welsh, joined this season from Hibs, is the one surveying the scene. Leave it in, helped on, and the last touch was a red and white one. It is going to be a Mansfield corner. Cry of yellows away to my left from the travelling hordes. Plenty there on that delivery. And there's Reid again, and he scored again! Would you believe it? The former Blade having the time of his life back in the Steel City. Two fabulous finishes. 2 goals he will never forget. Where on earth has he pulled these 2 from? And Mansfield Town are back in front, and how? The first one was good enough, but that one, sweetly on the volley, it did take a deflection on its way. But it flew past Adam Davis. And with half-time approaching, the shock is back on. Sheffield United 1, Mansfield 2. And now Lewis Reid is on a hat-trick. Burrows. McGuinness. Well, it has been thoroughly enjoyable stuff on this Sunday afternoon under grey and rainy skies. Samaro out to Kiana Hoover. Chong. Back for our blaster. Super block going in again. McGuinness. Mansfield seconds away from a half-time lead. Chong. Ben Mee. Burrows. Andy Garner, Nigel Clough's assistant, with his arms out to his side, saying, "Come on, ref, blow the whistle for half-time, will you?" And now he has. Well, what a first half we've had here. What a 45. No changes in personnel at half-time, so it's as you were for both. Sheffield United in the red and white stripes, kicking from left to right. McGuinness. Kiana Hoover. Ben Mee. Samare. Our blaster. Tracer just holding up Tahith Chong briefly. There's Hoover delivering nicely. Burrows on his less favoured right foot. And wide it goes. And the Blades looking to set their stall out early in this second half in their quest to get back on terms. They have been particularly vulnerable, though, the Blades, after half-time this season. Conceded before this game 10 goals before the break, but 28 after it. So nearly 3 times as many. Blake Tracy's throw. This is Oates. Boxed in by Hoover and McGuinness. He must be a nightmare to play against, because he just never ever stops running. Evans. And Oates is there on the end of it again. Well, what a bonus it was when he decided that he would put pen to paper on a longer contract. He was in the final 6 months of his last deal, and Nigel Clough was desperate for him to re-sign, because he knew trying to replace him it would have been nigh on impossible. But Oates did say that he felt he owed Mansfield because of the injuries that he suffered and how the club has stood by him through those dark times. Lovely turn from Lewis Reed there. Not a good ball from Bailey Cargill. Blake Tracy just about getting hold of it. Our blaster. Palmer. Ings. Good feet. Tahith Chong is in, attempting to square it for Tyrese Campbell. He might have been better served going for goal himself, but you could quite clearly see he was trying to slide it across for Tyrese Campbell. And perhaps he should have been more selfish here, Chong. Complete swing and a miss from the former Manchester United youngster. Oh dear. Well, he had a bit of an embarrassing moment But to Heath Chong, and there is one for Lucas Akins as the ball went straight through his legs. Now Oates on the move, and this is where Mansfield are so dangerous. He can really move, Rhys Oates. Evans galloping into the middle, he's found Akins! Sensational stuff! Amazing scenes behind that goal as Mansfield Town of League One go 3-1 up. He scored his first goal in just shy of a year in the last game against Bradford. Now he's got 2 in 2. Stags fans pinching themselves. And it's that man, Rhys Oates, who did all of the hard yards. And what a pullback, and what a finish from Lucas Akins. Sheffield United well and truly shaken by that. Sheffield United 1, Mansfield Town 3. Well, they've really got the bit between their teeth now, Mansfield, but they've also got the security of that 2-goal buffer as well. A team decimated by injuries, but they just seem to have been galvanised by it. Ben Mee. It's a good ball. Hoover. Faced by Blake Tracy. Chops back inside, delivers. Evans gets something on it. Samare. Tyrese Campbell, who's been a peripheral figure in this game, does get the shot away, but it's a routine save for Liam Roberts. Saw it coming all the way. Burrows. There's a real strength of this Mansfield team, the way they can pounce, and on the transition they're very good. And there's a real sense of togetherness within the group as well, you can see that. And Oates continues to clock up the miles out there. Well, he must be loving this. He must be absolutely loving this, Nigel Clough, who delivered some truly wonderful memories for Sheffield United followers in this competition, now doing the same for Mansfield. Samare. Mee steps round McDonald. Tahith Chong, seen off by Cargill. And Will Evans making his presence felt on Tahith Chong. He was on the move again for Sheffield United. Ings pointing where he wanted it, didn't get there though. And there is activity down on the Sheffield United bench. Looks like Patrick Bamford is getting ready for action. This is Oates, off he goes again, and every time he gets it, Mansfield fans get out of their seats. What a ball! Lewis Reed, Akins motoring into the middle as well. Reed on a hat-trick, remember, and looking for it. And that is off target from Lewis Reed. Wow. That man again, Oates. Clever use of the ball to find Reid. He could have used Akins if he wanted, but he had only one thing on his mind there. It is going to be a double change, incidentally, for the Blades. Femi Siriki is being prepared for action. So the obvious choice would be to bring Kiana Hoover off and put Siriki on in his place. Samare. Unless Chris Wilder has something else up his sleeve, he could play Siriki higher up the pitch and replace Tahith Chong, potentially. Arblaster. Could probably take your pick of the two strikers to bring off, because Campbell and Ings have been very quiet. Moshalar just sliding in on Burrows and conceding a corner. Burrows to take this. McGuinness rising, getting something on it, and hooked goalwards by Ings, who's claiming there was a deflection on it. And the officials do not see it the same way. It is in fact going to be a triple change. Andre Brooks is at the back of the queue. So here they come. And Patrick Bamford, having just penned a new contract, will come on to replace Danny Ings. Next in line is Femi Siriki, who does indeed come on for Kiana Hoover, the Sheffield United debutant. And Andre Brooks is coming on for Tahith Chong. So Siriki and Brooks reunited down that right-hand side. They've been extremely effective in Sheffield United's recent good run of form. So they are paired together down the right flank. And Bamford now partnering Tyrese Campbell. Bamford having scored 5 in 10 appearances, 3 in his last 4. Oates, lovely touch, is away again, it's Rhys Oates, it's 4-1! Oh, this is fairy tale stuff for Mansfield Town! Scenes of unbridled joy, and Rhys Oates, who's been an absolute menace from minute 1, gets his name in lights. A truly extraordinary scoreline we have here. Oates flicked it on the inside of Ben Mee, held his nerve and steered it beyond Adam Davis. What a game he's had. What a day Mansfield are having. Get a load of this scoreline. Sheffield United 1, Mansfield Town 4. And that's 4 in 3 games now for Rhys Oates. Goal arriving just as Chris Wilder had made a triple change, looking to find a way back in, and surely now Mansfield have taken this game away from Sheffield United. Nigel Clough with a wry smile, but my word, he will be beaming with pride. Well, the FA Cup hasn't delivered too many shocks, one big one of course. Macclesfield triumphing over Crystal Palace. This one won't be quite as big, but even still, big nonetheless. Big scoreline as well. Brooks. Ben Mee. Blaster. Well, we thought that Andre Brooks might operate on the right. He is indeed at the moment playing over on the left. So a tactical tweak from Chris Wilder. We'll see whether Brooks returns to this right-hand side. He may well do. Bamford is being tugged at, so Sheffield United get themselves a free kick here. This is a long way out for Gustavo Hamer. But he is more than capable. And if Sheffield United are to get themselves back in this cup side, something really needs to happen here. It is Hamer who goes for it. It's a really good save from Roberts. Got a firm hand on that. Blades corner as the result. Hamer lofting it high, looking for McGuinness, and Bamford! On from the bench to rekindle some hope for those in red and white. On the day that he pens a new contract, Sheffield United are back in now with a sniff. Still lots to do. McGuinness winning the first header, and that is what Bamford is all about, sniffing out an opportunity. 6 goals in 11 games now, and it's Blades 2, Stags 4. Now Blake Tracy delivering early. Oh, Oates just couldn't get on the end of it. What a cut tie this is. Cargill, and he's overcooked it, and away it goes. Well, he was a whisker away from restoring Mansfield's 3-goal cushion. Rhys on the stretch, not quite getting there. This game is going, I would predict that we may well see a few more goals. Campbell, Burrows, Bamford, Roberts choosing to play out from the back, sign of Mansfield's confidence perhaps. Blake Tracy launching one, McGuinness with eyes on it. Rhys comes across, wins the ball. He did catch a bit of Ollie Blaster, but there was nothing sinister in it. Ollie Blaster following the same pathway as Lewis Reed, coming through the Blades ranks. Samaro. No signs of any Mansfield changes as yet. Nigel Clough obviously content with what he's seeing, and why wouldn't he be? Sariki. Ben Mee. Bamford into Hamer, shoveling it back here for Samare. Sariki rolled through towards Brooks, and those two have been reacquainted actually on this right-hand side. Brooks very briefly had a little spillover on the left, but he is now back over to this nine. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a line at the top of Sheffield United's attack. Campbell, Sariki, Brooks sending the cross in. Oh, it's an own goal. Oshilaja putting through his own net. And just like that, it's all becoming very nervy again for Mansfield, whilst belief is growing for the Blades. Well, I hope you're keeping pace with this. Andre Brooks slings it over, and Oshilaja on the stretch puts through his own net. Or was it Moriah-Welsh actually coming back? It may well have been, you know. Seeing that replay, it looks as though it might have been Moriah-Welsh, but either way, it is Blades 3, Mansfield 4. Really difficult to tell the way that the pair of them both went for the ball. Now Patrick Bamford! The whistle had already gone. Well, Tom Davis, being spoken to by Chris Wilder, he'll be the next to come on, you would think. Player who's gone through countless injuries during his time here. Approaching the midway point of the second half. And boy, have we had our money's worth out of these two. And just to confirm, has gone down as a Moriah-Welsh own goal rather than Oshilaja. But Sheffield United suddenly back in the tie. Tie that was threatening to get away from them. McGuinness, pounced on by Blake Tracy. Sariki, Arblaster, Brooks. Looking to clatter it down the line, but the momentum now certainly with those in red and white. And what do Mansfield do from here? Do they try and contain the Blades for the last 20 minutes or so? Or do they look to re-establish more of a cushion? That'll be a corner. O'Donnell's challenge on Bamford. You can guarantee, whatever happens from this point, both managers will shake hands on what has been a truly enthralling FA Cup third-round tie. Both, of course, want to progress, but both will be quick to acknowledge the part that both of these sides have played in it. As it goes in towards McGuinness, and Roberts is there to get hands on the ball. Jibril Samari will be the player to be withdrawn and replaced by Tom Davis when that change happens. He is the one on the ball now, and the only one that was left in from the start from the Leicester victory here on New Year's Day. Looks like he might be hobbling a little as well. Larger's header. Moriah-Welsh putting it back into Sheffield United territory. Oates is still there, still putting in the hard yards. Blaster. Brooks. Bamford. Oh, Campbell just needed to get something on that, and Roberts would have had a problem. Well, we have been, and they have been, thoroughly entertained. 17,514 the attendance here. Jibril Samare is replaced by Tom Davis. Been with the club for 2.5 years now. But, not many appearances. He's had horrible luck with injuries. Very popular in the dressing room. But I just have not seen enough of him. Evans. Lee there, just in the nick of time. Tossing it long towards Bamford. Cargill intercepts. Campbell brushes off the challenge of McDonald. Burrows steps on the inside of Moriah-Welsh. Hamer. Ollie Blaster. Through it goes to Burrows, and Roberts with the save. 4-3 to Mansfield it stays. For now. That runs all the way across and smashed downfield by Evans. And Mansfield, having put in a Herculean effort, look like they are beginning to tire. Siriki. Evans knocks it round Brooks. Oates will want this. And he gave him too much to do with that pass. Clough is down there. I'm just trying to work out whether he is contemplating a change. He's got a notepad out, now having a chat with his assistant Andy Garner. There may well be changes on the way. We'll keep an eye out for you, of course. Siriki. Blaster. This is Evans. Oates. Siriki. Sheffield United now looking for an equalising goal that could well put us on course for extra time. Brooks. A dart for the line, but Blake Tracy waiting for the right moment to go in with the challenge, and he's managed to play it off Brooks and get Mansfield a goal kick. Not entirely convinced that was the right call, you know, but Mansfield will happily take it. See Aaron Lewis down there for Mansfield, poised and ready for action. That'll be one of the changes, and there will be a debut coming up for John Russell as well. Meanwhile, Will Evans, great ball, Lucas Akins, and Burrows makes the stop. He could have squared it for Moriah-Welsh. Oh, that's fabulous play from McDonald. Sheffield United come out with it. Bamford runs through towards Davis. Bamford felt he was fouled as he played the ball there. There's going to be a trio of changes for Mansfield. Two players ready to make their debuts. Next break in play, those substitutions will happen. Brooks. Blaster. Sariki. Focus. Very much the key now for Mansfield. Oates looking to rescue it for Mansfield, and that will be the cue for Nigel Clough to make these changes.
Triple substitution for Mansfield, coming off 15.
Aaron Lewis will be coming on, and Jamie McDonnell will be going off. And Nathan Moriah-Welsh, who unfortunately put through his own net, is also departing. And Big John Russell, who joined on loan from Barnsley this week, will come on for his debut here for Mansfield. There's John Russell, and Victor Adebayejo is also on, signed from Bolton this week. Rhys Oates has made way. Mansfield are in desperate need of fresh legs. They put so much into this FA Cup tie. Sariki. Ben Mee. Bamford. Well, what they don't have now, Mansfield, is that out ball of Rhys Oates. Victor Adebayejo, different kind of striker, more of a target man type. And, they'll be looking to him to try and hold it up when it does go up there, and try and alleviate some of the pressure that will inevitably be forthcoming now as Sheffield United look for an equalising goal. Blaster. Davis. Lewis in the way of that one. Sariki. And Evans slides in, Blades corner. Blades looking to save themselves here. They have not gone out at this stage in consecutive seasons since the early 2000s. Hamer. Not a down by McGuinness. It's away by the debutant Russell. Burrows. This one's sailing over everyone. Confirmation of a yellow card for Tyrese Campbell a few moments ago for dissent. As we head into the last 12 minutes or so of this one, remember, Sheffield United were 4-1 down, still trailing 4-3, one more would raise the prospect of extra time. Adebayejo. A miscue there from Ben Mee. Evans. Reed straight in on Davis. Good challenge that. Russell. Here's Lewis. Oh, just wide. Still sensing that they can still get another goal in this time, Mansfield. Just wide of that far post of Adam Davis. Brooks. Tom Davis sold that a little short. Russell for Adebayo, his touch was too heavy. Gyro Riedewald is being prepared by Chris Wilder. He'll be with us soon. Andre Brooks for Sheffield United, tiptoeing his way through, and it's an outstretched leg from Bailey Cargill that gets it away. Akins. Tom Davis. Saruki stopped in his track by Evans. Can he find the right ball here? No, he can't. Mansfield's defensive resilience will be put to the test now in the closing stages. Hamer. Bamford, it's broken kindly for him. Still Bamford. Still Bamford, he takes a tumble. Looks at the referee. He's not interested in giving a penalty. He has given a corner. Gavin Ward unmoved. John Russell made the challenge. Not convinced. And it goes, flicked on by McGuinness. Sariki. Johnny Russell, who's coming on loan from Barnsley, is actually known as a box-to-box midfielder. But when you sign for Mansfield, you have to be prepared to play in multiple positions. At the moment, he's playing as a right wing-back, it would seem, or a more orthodox right wing-back in a back five. But that's really good play from Adebayo to take Mansfield up the field. Sariki's over there with him. And eventually it's seized upon by Harrison Burrows. Davis. Ben Mee. United being patient, trying to move Mansfield around this pitch. Trying to drag them out of position to create an opening. Gyro Riedewald ready to make his entrance. He has quickly become a cult figure in these parts, Gyro Riedewald. He will replace Ollie Arblaster. Riedewald would have had particular interest in that Crystal Palace game yesterday, having been a former Eagle himself. And Will Evans, meanwhile, has been withdrawn by Nigel Clough and replaced with Stephen McLaughlin. Another player, McLaughlin, who's been playing in all sorts of positions recently. He was playing in a number 10 role, as I recall, in the win at Barnsley over Christmas. He is known for being a left-back. Adebayo playing his first game in almost a year due to a serious knee injury. But, now adding some additional competition for those striking spots. Rhys free kick. Russell the target. Mansfield hunting, Mansfield pressing. Met by a huge roar from the Stags fans behind the goal. And they can rightly feel mightily proud of their team for their display here today. Tom Davies angling it wide for Burrows. They are queuing up in red and white in there. Brooks was rising, missed it completely. Sent further out by McLaughlin, but it's going to come back the way it came. Sariki, Hamer, Burrows. Russell with a block. Riedewald picking up the pieces. Ben Mee. Levering one in towards Bamford. Good header from Cargill. And Mansfield really needing to dig in now to keep the Blades at bay. Burrows into Bamford. Back for Burrows, who struck it. And there's Campbell. What a block. Colossal from Sweeney. That was goal-bound. And Ryan Sweeney playing a real captain's role there. The referee wants to sort one or two things out inside that penalty area. Palmer's corner. Good hands from Roberts. Exactly what Mansfield needed at this juncture. So assured, William Roberts there. Adebayo. He's got away from Burrows. He's got Akins offering support. Russell, Adebayo, the two subs combining. Lewis just couldn't put it in the path of Adebayo. Osher-Larger. Campbell clipping it wide now for Tom Davies, who steps round Akins, but something off the ball just prior as Gavin Ward blowing his whistle and going for his pocket. A yellow for Aaron Lewis. There's a pull of shirt there from Osher-Larger on Campbell, but Lewis was the one who was carded. Probably explains the quizzical look on his face. Meanwhile, some attention here for, I think, Ben Mee, who is down. Yeah, it is Ben Mee. Mansfield on the cusp of a famous FA Cup win here. Ryan Sweeney, a few moments ago, throwing himself behind that effort from Tyrese Campbell. Had good practice, I recall, in the win at Bolton, where Mansfield's penalty area was peppered throughout, and they stood up to that challenge. But this, of course, is a very different one, facing a Championship club who are throwing everything at this to try and now force extra time. And Nigel Clough just using this break in play to have I would say have a chat with his players, but someone in there is getting a right earful. I think it might have been Deji Oshalaja for whatever reason. Card for Deji Oshalaja. Six added-on minutes to be played. Ben Mee off the pitch, and in true FA Cup fashion, it's a bit of a cliche, he's got his head patched up, bandaged up. Mansfield better get ready for an onslaught, which will inevitably come now. Davis ensuring that runs Sheffield United's way. Blade still playing with 10 as Ben Mee waits for the signal to rejoin. Sariki. Roberts will come and claim that. A booming kick from Roberts. And Ben Mee back on the pitch, helping it back to his goalkeeper. Well, those statistics tell the story, really. So many attempts on goal. And 7 goals, so we might see more yet. Burrows. Feather-like touch from Davis, trying to feed it back inside. Sariki. Ben Mee. Mansfield fans serenading their players just now. Can Sariki get to this? He can! Oh! And Roberts had to get a glove on it. I'm not sure whether it was going on or not, but Liam Roberts not prepared to take the risk. The angle was so tight. But Roberts able to guard that near post. Armour's corner. Teased in towards Davis. Akins won. Sariki. Spotted the gap, went through it. Hamer. Brooks to sweep it in, thumped away by Sweeney. That will be a corner for Sheffield United, conceded by Lewis Reed. Burrows, McGuinness with a header down, and wide it goes, and that buys some more time for Mansfield. 3 of the 6 added have already elapsed. Well, great respect between the two managers. Both full of praise for each other ahead of kick-off. Nigel Clough, not that you'd guess, looking from that reaction there, he's on the cusp of victory, but he's just making sure that they are keeping everything locked up as best as they can to try and get this over the line. will be a memorable win if they can get it done, but also one that continues their winning run, and that is crucial really to where they ultimately want to be in the league campaign. They want to keep climbing in League One, and they want to make sure that the second half of this campaign is much more enjoyable than the last one. They are where they want to be, deep inside Sheffield United territory. And they've got a corner. Great support from just down the road. We know what's going to happen here. Not one yellow shirt inside that Blades penalty area. And they'll just try and run the clock down if they can. But now an opportunity for the Blades who have it with McGuinness, but they need to get a move on. It was Ben Mee, by the way, who had it. Now Rhys. Clear by McLaughlin. Adebayojo couldn't make it stick. Ben Mee. Up to McGuinness, who flicks it on. Burrows was in there, comes back to Rhys. Akins looking to clear for touch, it just about crosses the line. Mansfield on the cusp of something very special here. Rhys puts it into touch. It is all over! A fairy tale Sunday afternoon for Nigel Clough and Mansfield Town, who have knocked out Championship